I had 2 yachts.
Wow.
And that was all because I was dedicated to my job. I generated that kind of wealth that allowed me to have those things. I didn't want to have just enough money. I wanted to have a lot of money.
For the love of money. Gotta make that money, man. That money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man. That money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man. That money, man, it's still the same now. Gotta make that money, man. That money, man. Gotta get on the grind. Papa the clip about 9 and bitch, you can slip it.
Okay.
All right.
Uncle James, how you feeling, my man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Nephew?
For sure.
See, I hesitated on that. I
You
was trying to
good?
figure out what I was going to say.
Hey, all this is gonna get edited and it's gonna flow.
Okay, cool.
So I really just want to sit down and dig deep. If you don't mind saying and me asking, how old are you?
How old am I right now today?
Yes.
7'5".
7'5". Man, that's a blessing. That comes with a lot of knowledge, a lot of experiences you done had.
And a lot of good health.
Yeah. Need that to get anywhere, right?
Right.
Healthy and you energetic. You know, you not just in this chair all day. Obviously, we've been with you all day. You picked us up from the airport. You done showed us a good time out here. Welcome us to your home. Me and my lady. Hey, Ariane. I just want to pick your brain a little bit and just ask you a few questions. It's something I can have to cherish. And, you know, like these books you have right here, this would be part of my book because be a chapter I will have forever and ever. So I can always go back.
Right on.
And get these thoughts from a wise man.
Okay.
So,
for you, it would be like keeping a diary.
Exactly. Yes, sir. That's exactly. What habits did you build early on that helped you become successful?
Just being dedicated to the work that I chose, I pursued it. And pursuing it meaning that I had to put in the time, okay, and do the job. Okay. And I had to apply what knowledge I had to make it work. I was an insurance broker.
Okay.
I started out as an insurance agent selling life insurance.
At what point did you decide I'm going to start my own? Did you get so big that you were like, I can do this under my own umbrella? I don't have to be under an agency anymore?
Well, during that whole process of being introduced to the business and doing the job, things materialized, and there were other events that took place that now have changed my outlook. And part of that would have been my mentors at the time. In order to be successful, you had to stay knowledgeable, you had to know what your products were, you had to know what your competition was, and then apply it all. And so what they forced us to do was to take a self-awareness course to make us more stronger and positive in ourselves, to be more self-assertive, to know what you're talking about, and to do what you needed to do. So this course I took was a process of 2 weeks, okay? And it opened me up, made me more wiser about life and about the business, how to go about it and being assertive and being aggressive and not afraid to be in front of people and tell them what you know and what you learned. So I made that work for me.
You was like the Jay-Z of the insurance agency?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because the company that I was representing wanted to put a leash on me.
Right.
And only do what they allowed me to do. And what I realized was that if I was under their umbrella, under their wing, I was limited. And it was a decent amount of money you can make, but I was still limited. Why? Because they didn't have the products that I needed outside of what they offered. The more product you have, the more sales you can make, the more money you make.
What advice would you give to someone trying to level up their life right now?
Well, number one, you have to set goals for yourself. You have to know where you're going in life. Okay? You may have to make some sacrifices. Sacrifices would be letting go of some of your friends because your friends want to do what? They want to party. Okay? You want to work. To get ahead, you need to go to work. So you need to make a separation here of when you're going to party with your friends and do your job. So I dedicated myself to doing the job because it was easy as long as I kept applying myself. And the more I applied myself, the faster I grew my business. And it just blossomed.
How did that work as far as balancing having time for James to go kick it and build your business up? How did that work?
Yeah, I made I made a little bit of time, but again, I put more time into my job than that because that was most important.
So you wouldn't say it was a balance. You said a little bit, so it wasn't a balance. You had
It wasn't a level balance.
okay,
No, no,
okay,
no. It was more work than pleasure.
okay,
All right,
okay, okay.
because my friends, which I had to sacrifice and give up, weren't on the same page as I was and wanting to better themselves. Okay, I easily could have fell into that trap even when I was making money, but I said no. I got to keep going because I set short-term goals and I set long-term goals. And the faster you make those short-term goals, the quicker you get to the long-term goals. Some of those long-term goals and even short-term goals can be materialistic, or they can be accomplishments, achievements, like getting certain accolades and certain uh, accommodations, certain certificates, and what
Right.
have you, showing that your work did pay. The time you put in paid off because people started to recognize you,
Okay.
especially in my business, in that business at the time.
If you had to start over today with nothing, what would you do?
Well, I would first of all determine, okay, what is it that I want to do? What am I going to be comfortable in doing and selling? In the meantime, while I'm still figuring it out, I'm going to be doing odd jobs because you need money to pay
Right.
your bills, to do this, to do that. But I'm going to figure out what out there that I can do that I can enjoy it and make money at. So I'm going to figure that out while I'm doing the menial jobs, janitorial, cleaning dishes.
Whatever you got to
I'll
do.
do it. Garden work. I literally did that. I held 3 jobs at one time.
So, what separates people like you who actually achieve the goal and people who just say, I want to do that?
It's dedication, enjoying what you're doing, and not falling into a comfort zone.
Yeah. Okay.
You fall into a comfort zone when what? You have enough money and a little bit extra to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have just enough money. I wanted to have a lot of money
Yeah.
to do even more.
Yeah.
And it would involve materialistic buying things because when I started making money, then I would go to another level where I can get some toys that I like. Now, one of the toys that I like to have was a nice car, and I became a dedicated lover of Jaguars.
I see. I remember that.
So I own nothing but Jaguars, 12 different Jaguars over the course of time.
Wow.
Okay, so the Jaguar was my thing on top of other pleasure things.
And you had a yacht, right?
I had 2 yachts,
Wow.
and that was all because I was dedicated to my job. I generated that kind of wealth that allowed me to have those things, okay, and work even harder to keep them because you can easily lose them by making bad decisions
Right. Getting comfortable.
and getting comfortable. That's most people fail because they get comfortable and don't want to continue to put the work in.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what happens.
I'll say I fell into that trap when I had finally got a decent job. And
Yeah.
I definitely know what it feels like to get comfortable. And
Oh yeah.
if you're not moving forward, you slowly moving back.
And your friends that you choose can bring you down. What I mean by that is that they can take you out of that comfort
You
zone
become
and go to that pleasure zone.
yeah,
And that pleasure zone's not making no money.
it ain't.
It's giving you self satisfaction,
Yeah.
but not the
That
self satisfaction.
dopamine in the moment can be really dangerous.
Absolutely.
You keep chasing that, that's not leading to real progression. That's
Yeah.
just a feeling. That's not real progress. What would you say to someone who's working a regular job right now and wanna get to it how you got it? You kind of expressed it. So you basically got to invest in yourself at some point. If you don't have any skills, you got to go acquire the skills. If you don't have any licenses, you got to go acquire the licenses.
That's right. And keep reading on products related to the business that you're in. You got to know what your competition is. So, bottom line to that question you just asked, you got to dedicate yourself. If you're not dedicated to doing the job and having short term goals and having long term goals, and if you're not achieving those goals, then you lose insight. Firm believer that goals are achievable if they're believable and they're in front of you every day.
When did you finally realize, like, man, I'm financially okay. I'm pretty good. Like, when did you look at your bank account and say, yeah,
Probably when I became a broker and the company was dissolving, meaning it was being bought out, and they were closing up all the agency offices in which I was part of one of the agency offices, and the company was picking up all the overhead, the secretaries, the office expense, and all, and the equipment, all that. And they says, we're kicking all the agents out. You got to go get your own agency, or team up with another broker or another agent and form your own agency, and do that and take on all the expenses. You share them. I said, I told myself, well, no, I want to do for me. I'm not going to team up with nobody. I want to do for me. So I took that big leap, stepped out, got my own office, and now I had to face the realization that this is going to cost a lot of money. I got to go to work even more. So I stepped out, bought my office, got my office going, hired employees. Started out with 2 employees, started out with three, four, and it kept growing. And it got to the point that now I am not only doing that, but I was hiring agents too to come work in my office. And I started producing. And next thing you know, I had built up the agency where my first bonus check, as they told me I would receive, was $100,000. So that's when I knew I made it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, simple as that.
Simple as that.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it.